What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Dev Talks. My name is Flybox, and with me is Joy Build City, and today we are going to break down the Dev Diary about zones and signature buildings. I am super excited about this one. I can't wait to see. Joy, how are you feeling today, and what do you think about zones and signature buildings?
I mean, the cool thing that we've already kind of got confirmed is the mixed zoning, right? The
Yes.
commercial on the bottom, apartments on the top. So I'm hoping that we get more information on that today. And yeah, signature buildings. I'm so excited. Are we going to get more peaks of those upgrade trees that we saw on Thursday? Like, what are we going to see today? I'm so excited. Yes, I want to see it all.
Let's go.
Every decision you make weaves a thread into the fabric of your city. But don't for a second imagine
gets
it's
more
smooth,
beautiful every
seamless
time.
surface.
It
It
does.
don't work like that. Instead, it's an urban patchwork marked by the realities of life and living. You'll create and
Wow.
stitch it together with zoning. Zoning lets you decide where people live and work. You create these residential,
Whoa.
commercial, and industrial zones with zoning tools. They work in a couple of different ways. Click and drag over cells on the map to zone large rectangular areas.
Oh,
Zone
yeah.
all adjacent
Okay.
cells with one click.
Okay, we
Or
got
get
that.
granular.
Okay.
Zoning a neighborhood cell by cell.
Cell
When you
by cell.
establish a city, you choose the map.
Wait.
The map
Oh my
scheme
god.
dictates if your city's buildings will have
Wow.
the North American
Start
or
get-
European
oh.
architectural style.
We're seeing
Look
it.
at that.
Oh my
Natural
God.
disasters.
Zoning
Unlock
tools to
all.
mix
You
it
can
up.
select it.
Go on, sprinkle a little North American flair into your European
Look at
city,
how the
or
buildings
vice
work.
versa. Okay, you know
The
how zoning
constructions.
tools work, but what can you zone?
Wow.
Well, let's start with residential zones. The
Look at
places
those
and spaces
houses.
where
Oh
cities
my
live.
god, they're
Oh my
beautiful.
gosh,
Look at the
they're
snowman in the
Scratch
background.
their heads night after night. There are now 6 residential zone types. 2 will be familiar: low-density housing, detached houses for single families, and high-density
They're
housing,
so beautiful.
tall towers packed with residents. New zoning types include medium-density row housing.
Oh, come on.
Apartment buildings. There's low-rent housing now too.
I
Huge
can't.
apartment
What?
buildings with tiny apartments. Finally, there's mixed housing.
Mixed.
Here, residents live in apartments above ground floor shops.
Oh my
Mixed
god.
housing
Oh
adds next level
my
realism because homes and
gosh.
shops rub elbows like most real world city centers.
Oh,
Ready to
it's
talk
so
business?
pretty.
You'll create dedicated commercial zones where companies sell the locally produced and imported goods people need and want. Your commercial zones are also where citizens and tourists eat out, catch the latest blockbuster, and dance until dawn. You'll establish industrial
Wow.
zones
Oh.
with factories, workshops, and warehouses where businesses can store goods ready for distribution or export. You'll also develop office zones. Here you'll find small, low-density buildings with only a few businesses in operation.
Wow.
Oh.
how
Also, get the
cute.
glittering high-density towers that define your city's silhouette in the sky. Growing your city and zoning go hand in hand. Here's an example. You zone residential areas that boost the population, and with it, the demand for jobs. You respond by creating an industrial zone with factories where people get to
Wait.
work.
Did you
Now,
see
That-
that?
was that a
businesses produce
district?
goods,
Or-
but
That
they
was
won't stay in
a-
business long without
Oh,
somewhere to sell
wait.
them.
Okay, we'll
You
have.
solve that problem by expanding commercial zones.
Look, and
You
then
see,
instantly a
each
construction
zone
site
helps create
appears.
the momentum you need to realize the city of your dreams. And it wouldn't be the city of your dreams without signature buildings. These are unique
Okay, here we go.
residential, commercial, industrial,
Unique
and office
buildings.
that you unlock as your city expands.
Did you see how
Oh.
They're free
cute
to
that
build,
was?
and you can plop them anywhere. Plop. It's Cities Skylines lingo. Go on, say it.
Plop.
What's so special about signature buildings? Well, they function like any zoned building. A home
I
for
love this
people,
so
a
much.
warehouse for industry, an office for workers. But they can elevate the neighborhood in unique ways.
Oh.
Signature buildings can also
Like-
bring citywide benefits.
Are we getting
Zone and place your
churches?
signature buildings carefully, so each city district flourishes and plays its part.
Oh,
in
there's the
success
helicopter
of
again.
The whole city. Life's rich tapestry has never been richer than in Cities Skylines 2.
Holy smokes. This. Oh my god. That's it. What? All right. This is.
Okay, we gotta take
Yeah,
a deeper look. We
we-
gotta go. We gotta
Yes.
look deeper.
Yes. Let's go. Frame by frame. Let's go. one thing I wanted to talk about really quickly, because I noticed that, is like, if we look at the game speed, like, it looks so much more realistic than Cities 1, whereas in Cities 1 it would look like it's sped up, like the citizens' movement, the cars' movement. But look at this. This looks so smooth, right?
You're right.
I don't know. I don't know if that's been talked before, but yeah.
It's so cool because there is a mod that I don't use mini mods, but there is a mod that I use to help slow down so everything looks a little bit more normal. But yeah,
the real-time mod, I think, and the video is already moving, and we're like way too far. All right, so zoning. This is a quick side note. Quick side note, but there we go.
Zoning looks pretty similar to
pause.
what we're used to. You know, it's got the select marquee tool. But there's no paint tool, which is interesting.
So we got the fill tool, the marquee, and the select.
And we have a single tile. Yeah, so it's a little bit different than what we have now, just slightly. But the thing that they said in the PDF is, and we can see here, there's no dezoning.
Yep.
It's not a separate tool anymore. It says in the PDF, you just right click whichever tool you're using and it'll dezone, which is so handy.
Yes.
It's so great.
There we go. Got the marquee tool right here.
Yep.
The fill tool and the single zoning squares here.
Yeah.
Okay, new game. Oh, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
All right, look at this archipelago heaven.
Hey, we're seeing maps.
Hey, we're seeing the maps. This is so, oh my God. Twin Mountain. Let's go. San Francisco. It's just called San Francisco. Like, wow. Okay. Waterway Pass. Seems very Cities 1.
Well, quick, everyone. Call dibs on what map.
True. We got it right here. All right.
Oh, this is so exciting.
Also interesting, are they explaining that in the video further? Because I wanted to, there we go, look at that. The theme, of course, you can select the theme, North American or European, but apparently you can also mix in the city, you can mix the building styles.
It seems like you can, because in the PDF they showed, or maybe in the video, the PDF is long, folks, if you want to read it. It's a long one this week, there's a lot to go over, but they did show an American right next to a European, which made me think if they were showing them right next to each other as a wall-to-wall, that it wasn't a zone that you could just select, per house maybe or something. I don't know. It's very cool.
Yeah, and it says right here too, like you can still change the style of buildings during the game, but other style choices will remain as selected here. So once you select the theme, it will stay there, but you can change buildings, which is cool.
And look, we've got left-handed traffic, natural disasters, unlock
so it's
all,
not
unlimited money,
and tutorials.
And then look, tutorials.
Right?
That's going to be so helpful. I love that.
Yeah, obviously everybody's going to be watching our tutorials that we're going to create for our channels, right? But you have your beginning tutorials.
That's how you fly. You're good with the tutorials.
I love also that natural disasters is not like a DLC. So if this is something you can enable for the game, you'll probably have like some natural disasters stuff that you had in Cities 1, right? So you had like fire watchtowers, helicopter depots, all that stuff, right?
Actually, yeah. And look, with this map, similar information that, look, this just looks so clean. I love how this looks. So we've got the theme, the climate.
Yeah.
The building area, the latitude, outside connection, and then natural
outside connections for power. Look at that.
Which is very cool. For power, yeah.
Road, train, ship, plane, and electricity. So you need a map with electricity and outside connections to get electricity.
Well, I'm not, because we draw our own outside connections. So this is interesting to me.
Fair. Fair.
But yeah. Yeah,
oh, look at
the
climate. Cool. Climate minus 3 degrees Celsius to 19 degrees Celsius. So it can go to winter or up to spring. So you see that's a bit of a rain here.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of a sneak peek of what the seasons might be.
That is so cool.
Interesting. So I wonder if that means that you'll have 4-season maps, 2-season maps, 3-season maps.
Oh my God, that would be so epic.
I'm
Okay.
guessing.
Also,
no.
yeah, I speculated that you maybe, like in one of my podcast shows, I speculated maybe it's possible to toggle the seasons on and off as sort of a difficult mode, a hard mode, but apparently not. You can turn on natural disasters on and off, but not the seasons. Apparently they're
This
like
is
fixed.
selecting your map, though. You know,
This-
when you get into the
Oh,
game, there's the other
right.
panel
Right.
that will probably have options. Maybe. I mean,
That's
you know,
fair.
So
That's fair.
there might be more. Okay.
Let's quickly go
right.
back though to the info view, or right here, the view with the zoning, because as we can see here, like before, if you go to residential, we had low density and high density residential, but now we got like 6 different types of zoning. You got the low density, these are like houses, then you got the mid density wall to wall, you got, or no, these are also low density apartment buildings. This would be the mid density wall to wall. You got the mixed zoning here, of course, with commercial buildings, a residential or commercial and residential on top, and then you got the high apartment buildings, and you got the regular high density, which is really, really cool, I think.
To have that much variety is so great. I'm just so excited because this means a variety of how buildings are going to look and sizes,
Yes.
and just the mixed zoning is the thing I'm the most excited about.
Yes,
That
100%.
is
And we're gonna see,
so
yeah,
excellent.
we're gonna see some more shots in. Oh, look at the screen, the beginning screen,
Wow.
image of the Paradox mods. Okay,
Interesting.
Okay.
What's that? All right.
I love the. Oh, look, stop. Look at the construction, like
I know, it's so
the
cool.
cranes. You got a construction site fence going around, and you got the little smoke going. Like this actually worked. Oh my God! Look at the basketball field, the colorful one on the right side.
Wow.
Okay, that just
That's-
popped into my eye right there. Sorry.
No, that's awesome. Okay, cool. And I love that we're finally seeing some color as well,
Yes,
because everything's kind of looked a little gray, but we can start to see pops of yellow and blue. Now that we're getting more close-ups on the buildings, we are seeing that we are going to get some variety of color, which I'm really happy about. These houses are
These,
so
yes.
adorable. And look,
wanted
they all
to
have
say-
hedges and fences, detailing that we would all painstakingly put in our
yeah.
own.
It just
which
looks
is kind of
so
part of the
much
fun.
more
But
real.
like, these look so good. They look so great. Yeah.
Oh, let's pause again. Look at that little snowman. Look, there's just a snowman in here. In here too.
Yep. That's definitely for overcharged egg.
Yeah.
It's little.
But it's not snowing. It's not snowing. Maybe it's an artificial snowman.
Yeah, interesting. So nice. And you see the lights inside in the house.
Yeah. Oh my God. Super
Wait.
cool.
Wait a minute. I'm already imagining it's the holiday time.
Oh,
It's
let's.
snowing outside. It's nighttime, and you see the glow of the houses.
Oh
through the
my
window.
God.
Oh my God! I'm excited.
Yes, please. Oh, there we go. Explaining the residential zone types. Did I get them all right?
Yeah.
I think so. Single and semi-detached houses, North American style row houses, the small apartment buildings, and you got the mixed zoning, large apartment buildings with small affordable apartments, and the large buildings. Yeah, high density, tall. Look at the skyscrapers.
So great. Wow, and look
Oh,
at
the-
these.
the-
Look at
the-
the cute little for sale sign. I wonder
Oh.
if no one has moved in, or if it's not full, if that sale sign like automatically pops up and then it disappears. I will be so happy.
Right.
I love the detail. And the little porches. Oh my. Stop
It's so good. So good for sure. Look at the
Look
shops on
at
the. It's like,
Oh my
oh,
gosh.
come on. Looks
I'm
so
so
good.
happy.
Advertise
I'm
here. Your company
Wait,
ad
and
here.
also go back a frame. Right here. Is that not an entrance to a parking garage in these
Right in-
apartment buildings?
Right here.
And right there, look.
It
So
does
some
look
of
like it.
these look like they have underground parking.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah, but this one here too, right? This is an opening too, like above this
Yes.
van. I
Now,
love
here's
it.
the question: is it just for looks, or do they actually work?
Ooh,
I don't know.
that
Because
is the
that
question.
motorcycle is parked in front of where we would
That's so
drive
true,
in.
yeah.
So either you're getting towed, buddy, or we're
I
just,
love it.
it's a facade.
Your company ad here. I love this. Ooh, the commercial zones. So good. Like low density again. This time that represents like gas stations. You got bars and small stores, whereas the high density is your supermarkets, your department stores, hotels, and theaters, all that like leisure type stuff. And I think that's really, really cool that we have that mixed in low and high density.
Right, because in the original game, we would have all these different district zones we would have to paint to get like the bars or to get like the theaters or whatnot. And now it's just all in one, and we're just going to get a nice mix.
Yeah.
And there is a picture, maybe you can edit it in when we're, put it in here so people can see. There is the cutest gas station in the PDF. It's adorable. It's so pretty. I want it right now. And I think it's so cool. And again, it makes me speculate, is this going to be a functioning thing? Our car is going to stop for fuel? I'm so curious to know.
Yeah, because like same, but because they specifically mention it in the PDF document, right? Gas stations, right. And then there's a picture which editor Flyvox will throw up if it's not up already in the document. So I mean, come on, how much more hints, right? We got functioning gas stations. Since also fuel price is like one of the cost points for it falls into the cost point money for pathfinding, right? So
right.
come on.
It's possible. It's possible. I will say, from a personal standpoint, it's a lot on the billboards there, but that's okay.
Right here,
everything looks beautiful, but kind of heavy on the billboard. In cities there are billboards everywhere, so to be fair.
Fair. Okay, this right here, industry, looks really, really good. I love this. Like, this was from the ore industry in Cities 1, I believe.
Yeah, it does look like that.
Factories.
Okay, so let's talk about the industrial
that.
zones of what we read from the PDF. So with the industrial zones, when you paint the industrial zones, instead of there being low, high, or mid-density, instead it's manufacturing and warehouses. So essentially, if you zone with manufacturing, you're going to get the factories and the workshops, where the warehouses are going to produce the goods that are ready to ship. So whether or not you're going to be able to, it doesn't look like with the industries that there's two zones to pick from. It looks like that you zone industrial and then you're going to get those two types in it. So from what it sounds like in the PDF is you'll get more of the manufacturing and then a little less of the warehouse, which makes sense. So I think the game just auto-populates that, which will be interesting. The other thing with the industry that was so exciting is that everything is responsive to the game. So if, let's say, you have a factory, and if your factory is doing well, you're going to need more workers, and if it's doing bad, it needs less workers, and it reassesses itself consistently. So it's always changing.
That was so interesting to read. 100%. What does that mean, right? For the city, and super interesting for the realism again. Like, this game goes so hard on realism. I think it's unbelievable in my opinion.
Okay, and then one other thing, editor Flyvox, there's that photo at the very end of the PDF. So the thing I thought that was so interesting is that there's this building and it says it takes coffee and turns it into like video games or something, which I think is so cute. But it's actually a functionality of the game where the industrial products, they'll take the goods that they're making and it will get made into entertainment for your citizens, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a fun thing that they're doing there. I don't know. It sounds
100%.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, indeed it does. Another little interesting detail I find is when I look at these industry zones here, and this is clearly industry with all the chimneys and the smoke coming up, there's like, I don't know if that's like a cinematic of the game, but there's no pollution cloud that's going around your industrial area, apparently, right? So you don't have that pollution fog going on, that nasty brown grayish tone that was just like this big blob cloud above your industry area in Cities 1. It seems now in Cities 2, it's much clearer, and the only pollution is from these chimneys from the actual smoke, right? And like look at this, smoke.
It looks
though.
so realistic.
It looks so good. It's unbelievable. Let's see that in action. Look at that. Look at that. Like, what?
So cool.
I'm sorry, but I gotta see that again. Look at this. Oh my.
it's so good.
Oh, this office zones I thought was very cool. Again, low density, high density. We didn't have that in Cities 1. We just had the office zones, and I think this is really, really cool because the office zones now all also produce goods, which I thought is really, really cool. They produce goods for citizens and for companies.
That's cool.
That is so cool. And like the office zones, they can produce these goods that are only for the companies, that the companies then turn into goods that can sell to the citizens, or they can produce other goods that they can then directly sell to the citizens, which I thought is really, really cool. And also when you zone these office zones, you get like banks, law firms, insurance company, electronics companies. And I thought it's like, that's very interesting because like banks, okay, so we had an entire DLC dedicated to banks in Cities 1. And now we just get like random banks spawned in from office zones. What does that mean, right? Does it mean that does our city need banks? Does our city need law firms or insurance companies to properly function? Can we control that, what spawns in? Or do we have to hope that we randomly get one of the right buildings? That's going to be like super interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see how that all functions in the game. It's very exciting, but also a little overwhelming too. It's like, oh, okay.
Overwhelming is the right word. Yeah.
Right. But I love that, like in between the commercial and the zoning, like it's so nice that we're going to have grocery stores and banks and bars and restaurants, and it's like all these types of different types of buildings is so exciting, and I can't wait to see them all. I just want to see everything.
Yes.
Okay, the other thing I want to point out, and this picture is, or where we are in the video, is a great example for this. So in Cities Skylines 1, you put down a building, and then what happens sometimes? Randomly in the back of the building, you'll get like this odd parking lot, but there's no clear way to get to it. There's no pavement. There's no way to drive around. There's no access from the back. All of these buildings looks like there's appropriate driveways for each business, appropriate parking for the businesses, and then
except
detailing
this one, maybe.
Trees and fences. Yeah, but it's like, it does look like there's not going to be like this random weird parking that you couldn't get to anymore, which I love. I just think it's great. And even things like, a lot of these buildings have such nice already built-in detailing and entrances, things that we would add as detailers to the game. So they've really just, a lot of this is done for us. It's already there.
Yeah, 100%. I also really, really like the detailing and exactly what you said about the parking. And I wonder, since parking apparently is going to play a big role because like parking is in 3 of the 4 cost points for pathfinding, like, I speculate if you don't have enough parking spaces, maybe that some businesses are going to get in trouble because not enough citizens will go there because there's not enough parking. But apparently we're going to get a good amount of parking lots with like the shops, for instance, right? So we see the commercial or the office buildings here. And yeah, it seems like you can definitely drive onto those parking spots for sure. Whereas in Cities 1, as you already pointed out, sometimes it was not. It just wasn't possible.
Right. We all use surface painting, right? Well, let's put some pavement here, right? So
right.
pretty.
And that's also good because the high density office buildings, those are our glass walled skyscrapers. And I mean, come on, we don't need an IT cluster district to get skyscrapers from offices. Yes.
So nice. Yeah. It's great. It's so great.
Oh, wait.
Let's watch. We're seeing a district being made.
I think so.
Let's go back.
I think so.
So you just pull, you click and drag.
Yeah.
So you click a point.
And then you can just drag it out, right? Move node here. Oh my God.
Wait, go back.
Play that again. Okay. Okay, that's an industrial zone. So,
but it's still a zone. But look there's that little tool at the bottom. Look at this snapping.
The snapping.
Do zones snap?
Oh.
Stop it. Stop it. Oh my gosh. Are zones gonna snap now? Oh, be still my heart. I'm so excited.
Please. Come on. Come on.
I didn't see that before.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Me neither. Yeah,
so
let's pause it
great.
here. This looks kind of cool. So, unique
Yeah.
buildings, right? We know the concept of unique buildings. However, in Cities 2, it's different because they play into the economy of the zones, right? So you have residential, commercial, industrial, office, signature buildings, which you also need to unlock, right? Which I thought was kind of cool. There are
Right.
like
Yes.
some requirements to unlock. They're not too difficult. Or there was in the PDF there was an example of a residential signature buildings, and it's got like 3 requirements, but those didn't seem too bad. So it's going to be like a more fun way to play the game, to unlock these buildings. But also on the other side I don't think it's going to be too difficult to get them, and they also function similar to the regular zone buildings, and they contribute to that zone-based economy style, which I think is
So
super
great.
cool, instead of just being like an entertainment bonus for your city or a
Right.
tourist attraction. Yeah, it's like, office will do office things, a signature building, a residential, people can live there. So I think that's so cool.
Yes, it really is. I appreciate the detail of that, of not just giving us a tourist building or an entertainment building, like it'll actually function, which is great. It's fantastic.
Yeah, there you go. You can see the different zone types. Look, it's even got like a mixed zone signature buildings.
Oh, interesting.
Commercial, industrial, and then signature buildings related to office zones. It's a bit
Very
fast.
cool. Very
Yeah,
cool.
super cool. Very
Okay,
nice.
there's a couple things that weren't really covered in this that were in the PDF that
Yes.
both you and I were like, ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
There's a citywide specialization bonus that we're going to be able to earn. Do you want to talk a little bit about
Yes,
that?
100%, because that was very interesting, because apparently your industries and your offices, they can concentrate on areas with similar companies already existing and produce the same goods, which then gives you this citywide specialization bonus, which is really cool. So the industries and the offices and the commercial buildings, they all communicate with each other, which I thought was really amazing. And that's the bonus also when more and more companies produce the same type of goods, that the bonus increases. And I just think that is an amazing feature in the game.
It's also interesting, going back to something that you said on Thursday, this fact that we're all going to be building cities, but because of how those different trees work and we get to like choose which direction we want to go into. Same thing with this, depending on what we create, our city could be specialized. We could be known for this thing, or we could be known for that thing. So again, it's like, it's going to be so cool to see how that all develops, how we all create things differently. And it's just going to give so much more variety to all of us that play, but then all of us that like to create and watch Cities Skylines, because you're always going to see something really unique and different, because it's up to the builder to decide where they want to go, what avenue they want to go down to, what thing they want to specialize in. And I think that's going to be really interesting. I'm curious to see how that plays into the industries in our city, and I hope we kind of learn more about that as we go through these Dev Diaries. But yeah, I think it's really cool.
100%. One minor thing, or that I was like kind of excited about, is that taxes are confirmed. You can apparently adjust the taxes, so I thought that was really cool. And you can, with this land value tool, you can see the land value and the building value at the same time, which I thought was really kind of cool. That it's like kind of separated, but it's like on the same menu, so you have easy access to both land and building value, which I thought was really cool.
Speaking of land value, the other cool thing that we learned is how citizens react in the game to land value, and businesses too. So as we would assume, land value increases when there's proximity to shops and services and schools, as well as pollution-free zones. But there was this thing in the PDF that said that citizens will move into a home if it fits their needs, and then they will stay and pay higher rent if they are happy. And it said in the PDF that you can't just plop down the service buildings. That's not going to help an area level up enough. There are other things that factor into the land value, which I thought, for me as someone who likes to build cities for people, and I like to think about things like walkability and pollution and access, you know, being able to walk 15 minutes to wherever you need to go, like that does make me very excited, because that then will show, like, am I failing or am I succeeding in my concept? So that's really fun. Yeah,
and it's really cool fact about this land value. So the citizens also use their funds that they have to pour into their building, into the building that they're living in, helping that building to level up, which I thought was really cool. On the other side, if the citizens don't have enough money left over to help the building level up and to pour the funds into there, the building will deteriorate further, and once then the citizens will move out because of that state of the building, it will get abandoned. But then an abandoned building can get occupied by a homeless citizen. So homeless people confirmed in Cities 2. So that's going to be something that we could be on the lookout for. Like, will those homeless people just spawn when there's an abandoned building, or will they be like scattered around the city? Like, how is this going to work?
And can I make a tent city?
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows? So the other thing with land value is that land value affects different residential zones in different ways, which makes sense. So the higher land value affects the rent. So that makes sense. If you have a high land value, of course it's going to be more expensive to live there, right? And since the low density housing only has one household per building, the increased rent falls on that single family household, like it would in real life. In cities, we experience this all the time, where the medium and high density housing are slightly less affected by the increase in land value, since it's, you know, more dense housing. So I thought that was really interesting. And then the same went for the companies too. So it's very interesting. Companies evaluate the locations for their business partly by using the land value and the size of the rent, which is subtracted from the value of the company's production. So like all this is so intricate and detailed, and it's so real. It's how a real city would make decisions and functions. And I think that is so fascinating. And also, again, more levels of complexity, but also exciting ways to play the game. I'm excited. I'm excited for it.
100%. One more thing I wanted to point out is the building levels, because all zone buildings have building levels and they range from 1 to 5, right? So we do know that to an extent. And the progression of the buildings from lower to higher quality are the reflection of how wealthy the inhabitants are, right? So the lower quality are like the cheaper options apparently, and the higher, or the lower levels are the cheaper options, and the higher levels are the more expensive options, right? And interesting to me was that for the residential buildings, electricity and water consumption decreases per household at levels 3 and 5. That was stated in the PDF. And the commercial buildings, the same. Electricity and water, well, not the same with the levels, but the electricity and water used per 1 unit of goods or products sold decreases. So it's interesting to me that they put such an emphasis on electricity and water. The same, by the way, goes for manufacturing and office buildings. The electricity and water used to produce 1 unit of goods decreases over time. So there's a lot of focus on just, electricity or power and water. And that's kind of interesting to me because, that's like one of the big factors, right? You need to provide electricity for your city. You need to provide water. And so apparently once the buildings level up, the residential buildings, the consumption just decreases. So that's kind of good. Whereas we would, use the sliders from the budget to, adjust water output, like how much we produce for water for our citizens, fresh water. Here it works with the levels, the level up of buildings, or the leveling up of buildings, which I thought was kind of interesting.
I'm excited for the visual part of this, of course, and it's really cool because the buildings will change how they look at each level, similar to how we got in the banks DLC that we got recently, how the buildings changed.
The financial districts.
Right, the financial district. Yeah. So it's interesting that we're going to get, and a lot of us speculated, oh, is this going to be kind of a new functionality? So it's cool to know that as the value increases of the building, because remember there's land value and building value, as the building value increases, the look will change. And in the PDF, there are manufactured housing, which is so exciting because it does allow us to create lower density housing options in our cities finally, which is really exciting.
Yes, agreed, 100%. Overall, I do think this was a big one, like not with the video, but with the PDF file. I thought that was like a massive amount of information that we got, but I think we got it covered pretty good.
Yes, it was a lot.
All right, so checking the notes, I think we caught everything, but hey, if you thought that we missed something, please do let us know in the comments below what we missed. Do let us know what you thought about the zones and signature buildings Dev Diary. We thought it was truly amazing. It was a lot to chew on, but we got it all covered. And if you want to hang out with me or Joy or 3 other amazing builders, I do highly recommend the City of Friends Discord. It is linked in the description below. Discord is free and it's a super fun place to hang out, ask questions about the video, ask questions about Cities Skylines 2 or Cities Skylines. It is always a fun place to be around. But other than that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and please stay safe out there. Bye-bye.